Oh, hi, I'm Kristen. I am the production coordinator at First Up Cosplay.
Yeah, and just to kind of let you in on who we are and what we're about, we're all about kind of identifying barriers within the cosplay community and breaking them down. What that means for us is we like to have a lot of educational content. We have a lot of stuff on our Instagram, just tutorials for free, or if you would like, we also have sewing patterns available specifically engineered for beginner sewers, so you can get into sewing easily and it can be more accessible. So as a raise of hands, who here has sewn a thing before? Awesome. That's you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Who here has sewn a pocket before? All right, so this is new. All right, so there are a few different types of pockets. Just to say, right now, right here, with you all today, we are going to sew something called an inseam pocket. Now, what an inseam pocket is, for those who do not know, is basically, you know, a seam, like where you sew something together, there's a pocket in that seam. So it is very hidden. If you are cosplaying a character who doesn't typically have pockets, you can kind of still have like a hidden pocket in there and it will look great. It will not mess up the overall design of your character. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, it adds so much function to your cosplay.
Yeah.
And just like our
pockets are great.
Yeah,
Add pockets to your cosplay. I've started doing it. It has changed my life forever. It is amazing. So I will say for all of you, this is a panel that we want to definitely lean in on learning. If there is at any point anything that y'all have questions about, just raise your hand way up high. One of us should be able to call on you and answer that. If there's something weird, like let's say I'm like leaning in and you can't see me sew, or like I have a pattern piece up like this, and you're like, what's that weird white stuff? What's that white thread on the edges, you know? Any question whatsoever, I am happy to answer it. All right? Are we good to go? Yeah, all right. And I know we only have this little guy right here right now, so let me think about it. All right. Yeah, for sure. All right. So first thing you want to do is, for a guy like this, there's probably going to be something of a waist hem, so I'm going to need to fold this down a little bit. So we're going to keep that in mind. I'm going to get out a ruler. This is a grid ruler. It is amazing. If you do not have one of these in your life, please get one. These are awesome. Yeah. This is a little 6-inch one right here. And I am going to also get some chalk right here. So we are going to measure, we're going to measure 3 inches, right, like there, if y'all can see that. And we are going to make a little chalk line right there. And that's going to be where I want the top of my pocket. So I'm going to take my pocket right here, and I'm going to, so for reference, I'm holding the pocket right side up. You would like the pocket portion like this. This is how you want it to lay on your piece. So let's see here. So here we go. Here's the top. We are going to take this pocket. We are going to align it to the top of this mark right here, this edge to this mark. And we are going to take out our pins, right like that. And I'm going to pin this pocket piece to the edge. So basically, you're going to want to use as many pins as you think you need. I'm going to go a little bit in more, just use a little bit more pins just to make this nice and sturdy.
Yep. Are you lining it up edge to edge, or are you leaving a little bit of space?
I'm lining this up edge to edge.
Yeah. So there's seam allowance on the edge of that part of the pattern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we're going to put this through our sewing machine. Now, the seam allowance I'm going to use right now is a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That is 1/4.
Is this like sewing or basting?
This is sewing. We are sewing this right now. So we're going to take our pins out because it is great to take your pins out. I have ruined many a pin by trying to sew over them. So we are going to do the nice, lovely thing and take them out while we sew.
And don't forget a backstitch.
Yes, don't forget to backstitch. All right. Now we're going to take our little thread clippers right here and clip our threads. I'm going to hand this off to Kristen right now. And we're going to do the same exact thing with our other pants pattern. So, to reiterate, we're going to find the top right here. Right here. We're going to do the side seam. So this big long seam. We're going to measure the exact same down. So that is going to be 3 inches. That's seeable. And then we are going to align the top of our pockets to that and to the edge and pin them together.
Which sides of the fabric for each of those?
Right. So what you're going to do is you're going to pair, let me see, what is that? Right sides together?
Do you want to right side?
Yes, you would like to get right sides together for this. And do you want to explain what you're doing here?
Okay. So don't forget to press your pocket or press your seam open so it reduces bulk and it makes a really pretty clean finish on the inside. Even though it's not something that you'll be seeing, you'll still be reducing the bulk that you're going to have in the seam.
All right, and we're also going to sew this again at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, now we basically have 2 halves of this, which is awesome and amazing. So I'm going to give this to Kristen over here, and she is going to iron this again. And basically what you want right here is you want a nice ironed seam. And this will be fantastic, like she said, to reduce bulk for later. And I'm going to hold this up as well. You're basically going to want it to look like this. It's going to look like it has this like weird dog or elephant ear sort of thing. And these are going to be right sides, wrong sides where the seam is. All right, now we get to a fun bit, I promise. All of this is fun. I hope this is fun, because like, I think sewing is fun.
Definitely fun.
All right, I'm going to be honest, you guys. I'm going to admit to my mistakes, because we're going to admit to our mistakes here in this space. I sewed this on the wrong side. That's okay though, you know? That's all right. How many people here like to cosplay? Yeah, a lot of people. Okay. And this is going to be themed. I really promise this is going to be themed. How many people have like bag handlers or like friends who, yeah. How many people are bag handlers? Anyone? Anyone here? Wouldn't it be really, really nice if the cosplayer had like pockets attached to it so they could be like, oh, where's my phone? Oh, it's right here in my pockets. I don't know. I think that's really cool. I mean, also on pockets, there are a few other things, like there are a few other different types of pockets that we're not going to cover here today, but I'd love to cover them in the future. There are patch pockets. You can usually see these on your jeans. They're just like a piece of fabric that you kind of sew to the main fabric. Kind of chop stitch it. It can look really cute if you wanted to. You also have welt pockets, which are very fun and very fancy. You can kind of see these on like suit jackets or like more fancier pants. It's like you know, do y'all know what welt pockets are? I don't want to explain what welt pockets are if you don't know. No? Don't know what welt pockets are? Okay. So I can't explain this, awesome. Okay, so welt pockets are like this little like rectangle, and yeah. And they have like these little flaps, and you open them, and it's a pocket, and they're really fun and they're really cool. They're for like super fancy things like suit jackets and whatnot.
Got one here.
Yeah, welt pocket. Oh man, that's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, sure.
Hey, there we go.
Where
What a fantastic example of a welt pocket.
So we're ready.
Yeah.
But after you seam rip, don't forget to like press your pieces again because they're gonna get all kind of funky and weird.
what way is the pressing done?
So you can fold it in, you can go one way since the seam allowance is pretty small at 1/4 inch. I like to fold it open and keep it open to keep just the bulk down and keep it really nice and smooth and clean.
All right, so we're going to do a thing, and this is what I like to do in case I mess up. So I'm going to have this right side up. I'm going to have this kind of aligned. All right, that's where I made my mistake. This will be great, everyone. Really, a lot of cosplay is about making mistakes and learning from them. And, you know, not all of us are perfect. And that's okay, you know? You can't learn unless you're actively improving.
So it's all about mistakes.
You know, all of this is to say, I make mistakes sometimes, and I really greatly appreciate everyone for sticking through this with me. Y'all are great. Y'all are awesome.
Aaron, it's just the reality of sewing.
This is the okay. So the thing is that we have a lot of we have a lot of instructional content. A lot of it is recorded on video, which is why I can sew relatively well with this camera here and not be too in the way while I'm sewing. However, there's a fantastic magical thing called editors, and editors do this great thing where they prevent you from making mistakes, or if you do, they can just like kind of cut it out, and it's awesome. But the reality is, everyone makes mistakes, and that's all right.
You're doing great.
Thank you. All right, we're going to get back on track, folks. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I really feel like I want to tell a knock-knock joke, though I do not have any knock-knock jokes. So I'm in this awkward predicament. I'm just like, oh man, maybe, but I don't know. I'll think of one. No pocket. Ooh, I don't know. I have to think about it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this side, right side up. You see the seam is on that side, right there. We're going to take the other side and match the right sides together, like so. So I'm going to hold this up here. So it's kind of going to be like that. You're going to kind of match this pocket up and match the side seams up. And we are going to pin this together.
Yeah, you kind of know you're in the right place at that point when it kind of looks like elephant ears off of your pants.
Yeah. Yeah, you want elephant ears. That's a good thing to have.
And how far are you pinning, Aaron?
So right now, I like to pin a little bit closer together, personally.
How far around?
How far around?
Where are you pinning?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I see. I got you. I understand. So I'm going to pin all down here, all the way around this big pocket, and then I'm going to pin all down there. If that makes sense. Just the whole line. Yeah, exactly. We're pinning one big line.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be one big seam. It's going to be fantastic. I'm actually frankly surprised no one asked about what the weird lines on the edge are. Yes?
So I know there's serger lines,
Uh-huh.
but I was wondering, did you cut the fabric out first and then use your serger, or did you serge it into a shape?
So I'm going to say this. These are not serger lines, actually. It's really funny because these are overedge stitch. It can be found on a domestic sewing machine, but they are made to look like serger lines. So it's actually really funny that you mentioned that, just because they look so similar, and they're kind of by design supposed to look similar.
Yeah, so the overedge stitch, which is on most home sewing machines, it looks like you'll see it on your machine as a straight stitch with little points coming off of it. And it does something very similar to a serger where it does wrap around the edge. Obviously, you can see it doesn't do the full wrap around the edge, but you'll get a little bit of coverage. Yeah. So, without having surgery, you can finish your edges in a slightly,
Yeah, you can finish it.
surgery-looking way.
You can finish it and it will look like a serger and it'll be like, oh wow, I love your serged edges. And you'll be like, yes, my serged edges. Right, the thing I have. I will also say this, vast majority of sewing is in the prep. I mean, I know y'all have sewn before, so you know, like, it's all in the prep. It's all in making sure your edges line up correctly, making sure everything looks good. So yeah.
Oh, and I just realized we didn't finish answering your question. So after you cut out, you then want to serge your pieces. Yeah.
Right. Can you all still see this? Is this still good?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure. Just want to make sure. All right, next part of this step. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew this line that you pinned right here. You're going to sew all the way around at 1/2 seam allowance, 1/2 inch, that is. All right, so we're going to get to a fun part really quickly. So y'all know how to pivot? Do I need to go over pivoting? No? Y'all good? Okay. Raise your hand if you do not know how to pivot, because okay, awesome. Fantastic. We're going to pivot, everyone. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do here, you see, I have this nice straight line. I want to go over here. So how am I going to do that? One, I'm going to make sure this is about 1/2 inch up from this edge right there, if you can see that. See that over there? I'm going to take my needle and use my hand wheel to put it straight into the fabric. All right? Next, I'm going to bring up the foot like this, so you can see it's all nice and loose, and I can turn that wherever I want now. So I'm going to turn this 90 degrees. I'm going to lower my foot, and there we have pivoted. We have done a perfect pivot. And now I can continue. And you can do the same thing because like you see, this is a little bit of a tight curve. So if I want to, I can bring up my foot again, pivot a little bit more to just kind of adjust for that. So I might do that, I might not. We'll see how successful I am. All right, I'm going to pivot a little bit more. There we go. You know, there are a lot of curves here, so it's okay to take it slow. It's okay to kind of adjust and fiddle and do your pivoting if you need. That's perfectly fine because sometimes curves are hard and weird.
Any special tips you have for curves?
I have a few special tips for curves. Does anyone have like particular problems with sewing curves? Because I can give some curve tips. So, first thing you want to do for curves is, if you can see kind of right here, I don't know if you can, but there are seam allowance lines on the edge right here, and it's really, really nice to kind of look at that seam allowance line on your sewing machine and look at the edge of that. Align the edge of your fabric to these lines right here on your sewing machine. And that's going to give you a little bit better of a time, especially with these curves. I mean, the other thing I can say is just kind of go slow. If you're still having a hard time, another thing I can suggest, if you want to try, there is a backside to it, but you can also lower your stitch length. Because if you lower your stitch length, you'll have more stitches to get around those curves. The backside is, if you mess up, it might be a little bit hard to seam rip. So, you know, it's a give and take right there.
Yeah, if your sewing machine also has a speed control, lower it to the slowest speed and just take your time going through the curve.
Yeah, but it's okay to go slow. It's okay to, like, even if you're at a weird point, if you want to just, like, kind of use your hand wheel to walk it through, there's no shame in that. Also, get ready, folks. We're going to do another pivot. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to go about a ½ an inch in. It's going to be a little bit more like a quarter right now because we have had that open. We're going to have our needle in all the way. Flip up our foot. Kind of rotate this 90 degrees like here. Flip down the foot. We're going to undo the pin, and then we're going to finish this.
So it looks like when you're sewing the part around the pocket, you're sewing it with the seams out flat like that.
Yeah.
But when you're sewing the edges of the pants, you have it folded out straight again. Do you have any tips about that kind of transition, or do you just do like an angle fold kind of?
Yeah, I mean, you can have it folded out flat. Another thing I like to do, where did I put my seam clips? Yeah, another thing I like to do if you're having troubles with that is you can also fold your seam allowance towards the edge, and that will give you a little bit easier of a time doing that.
Show us the funny edge there. Your tongue came.
What's up?
Nope, there goes the rat.
Yeah, I can, but I don't know why.
Sorry.
Yeah, where are my thread clippers? What the heck? Okay, you did give it. This is also another tenet of being a sewing person is immediately putting something down and then losing it.
Yes.
It's over there, I think, because you
All
gave
the
it to
time.
her.
No, give it back. What
No,
the
I
heck?
think it's right in front of your mic.
I give it back.
I don't know, guys. We have this.
This happens all the time.
This happens all the time. This happens
Yeah.
more often than we think.
Yeah, and then we just end up trading scissors back and forth.
It is a vanishing spell.
Oh, there it is. They fell.
They didn't even hear it.
They were here the whole time, don't worry. All right. Y'all want to see some magic? You want to see some really cool stuff? All right. I'm going to do a magic trick. I'm going to hold this up. and you are going to see the awe and power of an inseam pocket. All right? All right. So we got this right here. These are wrong sides out. We're going to open this up like this. And voila, you have a pocket. And you can hold things in it, like your phone or a Nintendo Switch. Who knows? What we're going to do, we're going to iron this again. You typically want to iron it to the front of your garment. This is so everything will be kind of like, so your pockets will be to the front. Usually you don't want your inseam pockets to face the back of you. It's a little bit awkward. So yeah, you'd like to have them towards the front if you can do that. How are we doing so far? I feel accomplished. Do you feel accomplished?
Yeah.
This is awesome. I love this. All right, so you may be thinking, this is all well and good. This is fantastic. I love pockets. However, I would like to know, what if I bought a dress online? What if they don't have pockets? What if I would like pockets in a garment, perhaps a dress? And I need to add that, but I can't do it flat. I have to have a 3D thing. I have to have it fully, like I can't just like deconstruct and reconstruct. Right, okay. So, we're going to do that. We are going to do this again, but we are going to start from a fully formed garment. So I have my pockets right here. I'm going to have 2 right here, like this. And I'm going to have a fully formed garment right here. We have a pair of shorts. Now this right here is actually modeled after First Up Cosplay's PJ pants pattern. Obviously they have been cut down to be shorts because, yeah, I didn't want like really long PJ pants. So we have shorts. So what we're going to do, do we want to show the other one?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, look at that. It's all nice. Always iron everything.
Always iron your seams open, iron your pocket all pretty and flat, and then you can't even see it, right?
Yeah. See, look,
Yep.
completely inconspicuous. That's why we do the 1/4" sewing beforehand. Is yeah. Look at that. Aha. Yeah, that's why we do the 1/4" sewing beforehand, so if you have a contrasting fabric, you won't be able to see it, and it's still very low profile. All right. Yeah, so we're going to do this from a pair of pants right here.
Did you sew those pants?
I did sew the pants. Guess what? Because I can't help myself, it also is fully finished on the inside. Because you should finish your seams.
Yes.
It's really awesome when you finish your seams. All right, so I'm going to choose a side seam right here. You know, any side seam will do. I'll choose this one because it's like kind of closer to me. And what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of do, actually, I'm going to turn this inside out first. Let's do that. Look at all my seam finishing. Yeah, finish your seams, everyone.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick a side seam right here. And I'm going to measure it with my measuring tape that I definitely did not lose because it's right here. And we are going to measure, so this is about 1 inch. If you can see that right there, that's about 1 inch. So I'm going to measure, I'm going to go a little bit further down. And we're going to go at the 3-inch mark right here. So if you can see that, we're going to do something a little bit different. Because I do not want y'all to seam rip more than you have to. So we're going to line up our pocket kind of to the edge right here. We're going to line up the other ends right here. And I'm going to mark the ends right here. So you should have two markings. You should have a bottom one right here, and you should have a top one right here. And what we're going to do is we are going to seam rip this right out. So you're going to have a little hole so you can sew your pocket. Do you want to do it, Krista? Yeah. So what you want to do is, as well as going from tick mark to tick mark, I would also highly recommend you go a little bit past those tick marks. It's going to be a lot easier to sew because once we do this, we're actually going to go through a very similar process as the first one. I kind of started off with it's not the harder one, but we start off with more of the basics so we can get to this point right here. So yeah. Any questions so far? Anything anyone wants to know? Any deep, dark secrets about cosplay I can share? No? Okay.
How do sleeves work?
How do sleeves work? Oh boy. That can be... That is an entire panel
Yep.
discussion right
That is
there.
a whole other panel.
That is an entire panel, and we might do a how sleeves work because that's amazing. I would love to answer how do sleeves? Why do sleeves?
Thank you for that idea.
Yeah. Are sleeves necessary? Who knows? All right. So we're going to go through this a little bit, and you're going to kind of see a little bit more. So I'm going to take this right here, and this is going to be a little bit drawing, so if you have any questions, that's okay. So this is now technically my right side because you can see that kind of like hole, you can see that hole right there, right? So this is going to be my right side, that's going to be my wrong side. So we are going to match right sides together. Kind of look at that mark right there, kind of align this guy, and we are going to pin it. And we're basically going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to align the markings right here, pin it, sew it at a 1/4 inch. Do the same for the other one, and then we are going to sew it together. So it's basically all the same thing. You're just kind of doing it with a full garment now. I will say, as like some slight tips and whatnot, you're definitely working with a lot more fabric at this point. It's going to get in the way, so please be careful of your layering. You know, make sure you are not sewing over more layers than you need to. So yeah, that would be my quick tip for this guy right here. Just make sure you feel around, make sure you're sewing the appropriate amount of layers.
How far apart is your stitch length?
We normally are using like a 2.5.
Yeah, I will say, all right. Normally it's a 2.5. For right here for this specific demonstration, I did use a 4, but that is so we could easily seam rip it out. So we're going to sew this at a 1/4 inch.
You can see Erin moving like the pocket out of the way and the pant out of the way.
Yeah, this is very much a, please be aware of your layers. All right, we got one pocket side. And I'm going to kind of just speed run through the rest of this. Unless y'all have any questions or you want me to take it a little bit slower, but this is all going to be kind of more of the same thing. So I'm going to kind of just describe what I'm doing, but go a little bit faster for this one. So we're going to line up the edges like that.
So you ripped part of the seam, right?
Yes.
Start putting the pocket in. How do you make sure that the rest of the seam doesn't come undone?
I mean, a lot of the rest of the seam is going to be kind of like, it's going to be more sewn together than this is right now. But I'm going to say, like, a seam is not going to be as like, oh no, I ripped it. It's all coming apart now, you know? It is going to give a little bit of resistance, even with here. Like, you can kind of see part of the seam coming undone right here, but it's not going to come completely undone. You're just going to, it's a little bit of faith that it's just not going to completely fall apart like instantaneously. But I will say if you are rough with it, it will come undone eventually.
But you'd have to be very rough with it. You'd have to be definitely purposely trying to pull it open, yeah.
But that's also why like back stitching helps. Can you help secure that seam before you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But like in this instant, if it comes undone a little bit, it's kind of almost helpful. And like I said, it's not going to come completely undone. So you should be fine.
I'm not worried if you rough that was an accident from, so.
I mean, yeah, if you are very worried, you could always, you know, seam rip to the point where you need to, and then you can always just backstitch over that area a little bit if you're really worried.
Yeah, and it's really hard to see, but like I said, I am moving like the layers out of the way and doing what I need to do to only sew on this pocket layer and the under layer that I am sewing. All right, I'm going to clip this, and we're going to do something very familiar that you all know already. You want to iron this first? Or no need?
Ideally, we would iron it right now. Always iron after you sew.
Iron it.
Do we have the time?
Yeah.
Okay. We are.
I'll speed run through the rest of it because it's basically going to be the same. We're going to pin along that line. We're going to have some really nice big elephant ears right here, and we're going to sew pivots. Sew again, pivot again, and you are going to have a very lovely pocket. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. And if we run out of time, that's going to be what we're doing. This is really fun. I'm really excited, you guys. I'm excited for pockets. Seriously, I cannot stress this enough, and this is kind of like the whole thesis of this panel. But seriously, add pockets to your cosplays. I cannot stress enough because you're like, yeah, pockets would be nice. Like, they're really good. I don't know if I have the time. You know, like, it's kind of this extra step. I am 100% guaranteeing that it is totally worth it. That, you know, and you saw how fast it is to do. I mean, I didn't cut it out or anything, but you saw how fast it is to, like, kind of sew in. So yeah, add pockets, do it. And we're, like I said, we're going to give you like a nice little pocket pattern, so you know. All right, yeah.
If somebody doesn't have a waistband, how do you determine where to put the pocket? Because I've had them go down to my knees on accident.
Oh, I would say what you can do is you can wear your garments and then kind of like determine from there. So you can kind of like, yeah.
Oh, so it's not put together yet, and you don't have a, what kind of waistband are you thinking, or what does the top look like?
The garment that I made a mistake on, it was like a robe, so
Mm.
it's a coat that goes all the way to the floor,
Mhm.
and I put those
Yeah.
pockets down here near my knees. I have to bend over to
Yeah,
get it
yeah, that's fair. I would also say maybe like for a robe or whatnot, measure from like yeah, like your shoulders or the base of your neck, just somewhere where you can kind of like know where the top is. Measure down with a measuring tape and kind of see where you want it and use that measurement. So let's say it is like 20 inches from the base of my collar to like my mid thigh, which is where I want my pocket. Okay, I'll measure 20 inches down and kind of like place my pocket right there. If that helps.
Yeah, have to try again next time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, like we've learned here earlier today, a lot of cosplay is about like trial and error, and sometimes, sometimes you get distracted and are like having too much fun talking with the audience and make mistakes, but that's
What probably
okay.
didn't help is that it's stretchy fabric, so it felt fine, but until I put something in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah.
stretched further down.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
for
the whole
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
And definitely in that situation, you could use a different stretchy fabric too. Like something that's a little more solid but still stretchy, and then you won't have that stretching issue.
Yeah, I will say for the record, I'm using a non-stretch fabric here. This is just plain old cotton. So yeah, for reference. All right, so we're going to sew this baby up, and we're going to have some pockets by the end. Came unthreaded. What the heck?
Don't you love it when you're trying to go fast and it's unthreaded?
Right? Cotton crunch be like.
The realities of sewing.
This is the cruel, harsh realities of sewing. There we go. And I'm going to, as you can see, I kind of went to where that was unthreaded, kind of went a little bit forward, did my back stitch, and I'm going to go again, just sewing a little bit of an overlap right there to make sure it doesn't come undone. All right, we got 5 minutes left. Let's speed run through this. Also for this right now, I'm going to kind of just like line this up to right here. Kind of just going to estimate that and then do my pivot from there, just for some added context. do a little bit of an overlap. I will also say what I failed to say at the beginning, which is a very important step. Actually, no, it's fine. Never mind. Forget that I said that. It was not an important step.
It's all important, Aaron. It's all important.
But what advice I was going to give you was not important. Anyways, we're done here. We have a pocket. See, look at that. I'm going to turn this inside out. And you're going to fully see. See, look. It's a normal pair of shorts right here. But what is this? It's a pocket. There we go. There it is. And we are done for this panel. Thank you for so much for coming. If you want, we have pocket patterns for all of you. Have a free pocket pattern. We're First Stop Cosplay. We have a booth down at 1109. If you want, we have social media. Post your pockets on social media. Please let us know. Please tag us in it. We really, really would love to see this.
No.
If there's anything else you want us to teach you, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, thank you. I hope y'all loved this.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I hope this was informative and interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to know what our patterns look like, this is kind of what they look like. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Here's our big pockets. There you go. You can feel them. They are pretty big and they're pretty awesome. They will fit a lot of things. Many secrets will be fit in these pockets. Many secrets. Yeah. So like I said, that's based on our PJ pant pattern that we do have available at our booth. So if you want to learn to sew something like that, yeah, that's what we got. Yeah. Okay. I believe these ones are big enough to fit in the Nintendo Switch, which is the appropriate size for a pocket, in my opinion. If it is not big enough to fit in the Nintendo Switch, in my opinion, it's not a good pocket. So.
Anyone else wants another pocket pattern? Oh, thank you.
Big fan of G-Code jeans then?
On everything. I'm gonna put pockets on everything.
Yeah, seriously, it's awesome. And just look how low profile they are. You can tell.
Does anybody else want another pattern? Thank you. Yes.
I'm gonna say no to more stuff, okay? I will take as many as you want to give me.
Very, very helpful. Yeah, you want to feel the pockets?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, feel it. Put your hand in the pocket.
So it's making sure the elephant ear in this situation, making sure that it's facing down.
Yes, make sure the elephant ear is facing down.
You want to think of it as like you're putting your hand in the pocket, so you don't want it to going up.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just looking at the pocket.
Oh, did you want one? Okay.
I'm not terrible at anything.
It's just a
You want a ribbon?
very sure
There you go. Keep in mind about the pattern. It's here. Yeah. Not strong.
Yeah. Got any questions? I'm happy to answer.